All right, let's get right into it. This is a story about biology, big business, and believe it or not, your dinner plate. We're talking about an invisible enemy waging a multi-billion-dollar war on one of our most important food sources.
So let me ask you a question. What do you think costs the global poultry industry billions with a B every single year? It's not what you think, right? It's not feed costs, not logistics. Nope. It's something way smaller and a whole lot smarter. The answer? Well, it starts with these little guys. Day-old chicks. They're at the very, very beginning of our food supply chain. But from the moment they hatch, they're facing this immediate microscopic threat. And the financial fallout from it? It's just staggering. The culprit is a virus. It causes a disease called infectious bronchitis, or IB for short. Now, the name might sound pretty straightforward, but its impact on the poultry world is anything but simple. In fact, this is the #1 cause of economic loss for the entire industry all across the globe. I mean, this virus is relentless. It attacks from every angle. If you've got chickens that lay eggs, boom, production just plummets. And for the broiler chickens, the ones raised for meat, they just don't grow right, which is a total financial disaster for farmers. And if that wasn't bad enough, it hammers their immune systems, opening the door for all sorts of nasty secondary infections like E. coli. It's a domino effect, a cascade of failure that adds up to billions. So you have to wonder, why is this thing so hard to control? Well, to really get it, we need to put the virus itself under the microscope, because this is not some simple stationary target. Oh no, this thing is constantly on the move, constantly evolving. And there it is. Meet the infectious bronchitis virus, or IBV. And yeah, it's a type of coronavirus, a gamma coronavirus to be precise. And see that complex structure, that outer layer of spike proteins? That right there? That's the key. It's how it breaks into cells, and it's how it dodges our best defenses. Okay, so here's the really important part. IBV is an RNA virus. And what you need to know about RNA viruses is that they're sloppy copiers. When they make copies of themselves, they make a lot of mistakes, mutations. But here's the twist. For this virus, those mistakes aren't a weakness. They're its superpower. It's literally the engine driving its evolution and its survival. And it basically has two main tricks up its sleeve. First up is something called antigenic drift. The easiest way to think about this is the virus just making tiny changes to its disguise. A little tweak here, a different hat there, just enough so the immune system might not recognize it. But then you get antigenic shift, and this is the big one. This is when two different strains of the virus infect the same cell, and they literally swap parts, creating a brand new hybrid virus. It's not just a disguise anymore, it's a whole new identity that the immune system has never, ever seen before. Which brings us to this huge paradox, the central question of this whole thing. The industry vaccinates billions, and I mean billions, of chickens every single year. So how in the world are we still getting these massive, devastating, and super costly outbreaks? It doesn't quite add up, does it? Well, here's the hard truth. The guarantee of getting 100% absolute immunity from a vaccine, it's zero. It's just not possible. Even with the most advanced vaccines on the planet, you're never going to get perfect protection across an entire flock. The reality on the ground is way more complicated. In fact, that gap, the space between giving a vaccine and getting real protection, it really boils down to 3 critical points where things can go wrong. All right, so let's break them down. Why do our defenses so often get bypassed? Okay, point of failure number 1. The virus itself. It's exactly what we were just talking about. This thing is constantly mutating, constantly recombining. So by the time you've developed and rolled out a vaccine for one strain, guess what? A brand new variant is already out there, one that your vaccine doesn't even recognize. It's like trying to hit a target that's always moving. The second point of failure has nothing to do with genetics. It's all about timing. And there's this critical period called the window of vulnerability. This timeline lays it out perfectly. A chick gets vaccinated on day 1, literally its first day of life. But, and this is a huge but, it takes a full 7 to 10 days for that vaccine to kick in and create a real protective immune response. So you've got this gap, a whole week where a chick has been vaccinated but isn't actually protected yet. It's completely vulnerable to any wild virus floating around. And that brings us to the third point of failure, which is all about logistics. It's about inconsistency.
Look, we're talking about trying to vaccinate thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of birds all at once. People use methods like mass spraying, which you see here. And yeah, it's efficient, but it is far from perfect. You can have clogged nozzles, the pressure could be wrong. The end result? Some birds get a perfect dose, and others get barely any at all.
And the consequences of that are huge, as you can see here. When you get it right, when uniformity is high, the whole flock gets protected at the same time. Awesome. But when it's low and patchy, you get something called rolling infections. A few unprotected birds get sick. They start shedding the virus, and they pass it to the next vulnerable birds. It's this vicious cycle that keeps the virus circulating, causing unpredictable and really significant economic damage.
So, if our main defensive shield, vaccination, has all these holes in it, what do we do? How do we get ahead of this thing? Well, the new thinking is all about shifting from just defense to proactive intelligence. It's about finally outsmarting the virus.
Because we have to get this idea in our heads. You can't just vaccinate your way out of the problem. Simply building a bigger shield doesn't work when your enemy can change its shape on a dime. And that's where this new approach comes in. Think of vaccination as your shield. It's absolutely crucial, right? It's your primary line of defense. But we know it has gaps. So the new strategy adds a radar system to go with the shield. And that radar is rapid diagnostics. It's proactive surveillance. It's a way to actually see the threat coming and know exactly what it is in real time. So how does it work? It means using incredibly powerful tools like PCR testing. So instead of guessing, or worse, waiting for an outbreak to prove your vaccine failed, producers can get definitive proof of exactly which variant of the virus is in their flock right now. And with that information, they can make smart, targeted decisions. Maybe change their vaccine program to match the threat they're actually facing today, not the one that was around 6 months ago.
Which leaves us with a final question, doesn't it? In this never-ending, high-stakes battle to protect our food supply, maybe the key to winning isn't just about building a bigger shield. Maybe it's more important to have the intelligence to truly know your enemy.